Well, hello everybody. Thought I would wrap up the Sentry tournament, the 2025, my initial go at it for History Maker Golf. I finished off, or I was halfway through the fourth round when it just only made it through the first front nine, and it was 2.5 hours. And I was like, okay, we'll finish it up uh, later. But really, what happened is the leader ran away with it, and so by the time I got to wanting to show, all the contenders had left the building. I mean, he was there by himself. All the other players were being scored off the automatic chart. So our leader, Echeverria, cleared almost everybody out. And then when he got to the eighth tee, a par three, he actually got a hole in one, which counts as an eagle. And that wiped the last two guys off the contending board. So I ended up playing the rest of the tournament just off the instant results thing. The only golfer that got to play out his tournament is Echeverria. So Echeverria finished with a score of 258, finishing 6 shots ahead of Cole, who came in second. Aberg came in third. Sam Burns and Justin Thomas tied for fourth. Keegan Bradley, Russell Henley, and Connors tied for fifth. Matsuyama sixth, and a three-way tie for seventh. We had Day, Scott, and Bez. So now we've got the scores for these top 12 golfers, but what about the scores of the other golfers? Well, you've got all these golfers that were never in there, and you have to figure out their score. So there is a way to do that based on this sheet. I'll see if I can zoom in a little bit on it, and I'll hold it here in case you want to read that. I'm not going to read the whole thing. It'd just take too long. But basically, I'm looking at this little part down in here. So basically what we're doing is we're taking the score of the tournament, which we said was 258. Well, 258 is less than 263. So it means we're going to be in the far right-hand column. And we're starting off with B pluses going all the way down to D minuses. So we start with B plus, cross-reference, and it gives us a number. It says 263 plus TR. TR is their tournament rating. So if we look at the B pluses and bring them in, look at the B pluses, the number there is their tournament rating. So in this case, Sandra Shoffley, 263 plus the TR of 1 is a 264. So the 264 golfers, and I will put this all in Excel when I get it finished. I'm just getting a little outline done right now. So Shoffley is at 264, and ironically, the top 12 guys, some of them played so bad, Shoffley beat them out by not, by just doing his tournament rating versus the actual course. So 264, he actually tied for second place is what Shoffley did. That was kind of weird. That's the way it worked out. So Shoffley's at 264, and so is McCarthy. So they are 264, and the leader was 258, and that was Echeverria. All right, and now we go to the twos. So we're going to just add one more. It makes it the 265 group, and that's Maverick McNeely and Patrick Cantlay and Fitzpatrick. They finished at 265. And now at 266, we had Aberg from the top 12 at 266. And we also have Morikawa at 266, since he's a 3. And let's see here. Do we have anybody else a 3? No, we do not. Kirk's a 4, which would make him 267. And 267 also had Burns and Thomas in that group from the top 12. All right, and then we go to 268, which was Bradley, Henley, and Connors. Then we had the 269, and that's Matsuyama by himself. All right, then we had, let's see, Zalatoris was a 7, so we start with the 263 and a 7, makes him a 270. So Zalatoris will be in the 270 range. And that'll finish out the B pluses. That finishes out the B pluses. Now we go to the C pluses, and we look at the chart on the C pluses, and it says we're going to take the instead of 263 in the tournament rating, it's going to be 266 plus the tournament rating. So 266 and the tournament rating. All right, well, Goddard's a 3, so that makes him a 269. So Goddard is a 269. Kim's a 4, so that makes him a 270. Better do C Woo because there's a couple of Kims in the field, or not in the field, but in the season, so I don't want to get them mixed up. We have, make sure I got the right number here. Are these 4? Yeah, these are 4s. We got Grayersman, not sure how it's pronounced, and M. They're also at 270. So is An, A-N. Might be pronounced An, I'm not sure. Might be Byung Hoon An, I have no idea. And this one, Aaron, I guess it's Ray, R-A-Y. He is also in the 270 range. The 5 guy is Max Homa, which makes him a 271 for Max Homa. And then 6s are going to be 272, and that will finish out the 3 guys that were in the top 12. Under 272, it'll be Jason Day, Adam Scott, and this, however you pronounce the Bez guy. And then it's also going to be the 6s in the C plus category, and that's Tony Finau, Thompson, and then we go to the 7, which would make him a 273, and that is Kaziri and Garnett. And that finishes, oops, and one more guy, Malnati. Okay, so that finishes out the C pluses. Now we go to the regular C's. And C says we're going to take 267 in the tournament rating. So 267 plus the 3 is a 270. So Pendrith is actually going to finish 270. Hogue is also going to finish 270. Poston's going to be 271. I know my handwriting is very sloppy, but I'll make it nice and neat in Excel. It's the beauty of Excel. 5 is going to make it a 272 for you. And Davis is a 6, so he'll be 273 for Cam Davis. That finishes out the C's. Then we go to the C minuses and see what they've got going on. And in the chart, C minus, you're going to start with 268 and add it to the tournament rating. So 268 is the starting point. Cam Young is a 3. Cam Young is a 3. So we start with 268. 3 makes him a 271. So that is Cam Young. Brian Harmon's also a 271. Jake Knapp is a 271. And Victor Hovland's a 271. All right, then we do a 4. Wyndham Clark, he becomes a 272. As does McCarty. And then Pavin and Campos are 7s, so they become 275s. So I'll skip a space in case somebody comes 274. But it's going to be Campos and Pavin, or Pavon, however it's pronounced. And that takes care of the C minuses. Then we go to the D pluses. For D plus, look at the sheet. D plus, it's a 268, but this time we're going to multiply the tournament rating times 2. So that's going to be a bigger impact. We'll take 2 times that. So we're going to have the 268 as our starting point, but we're going to multiply the tournament rating by 2. So that becomes a 4. Add to the 268, he's a 272. So Sepp Straka is a 272. Detry is a 4. So we're going to multiply that by 2, makes it an 8, and that'll make it a 276. So it looks like there won't be anybody at 274 as far as I can tell. Detry, Jaeger, I guess that's how it's pronounced, Jaeger, something like that. They're both 276s. Oh, wait a minute, I got these guys out of order. I didn't have the right guys in the right order. I didn't have the early guys up front. Okay, so let's go here. I had more 2s to go by, didn't I? I skipped over some of the 2s. Harry Hall is going to be the same group Straka's in, which is the 272s. So Hall's going to be in 272. McIntyre is going to be 272. So that is McIntyre. He's 272. Batia is a 3. Multiplied by 2 is a 6. So that's going to make him 274. So we will get some 274s. And that is Batia. Anybody rated a 3 is a 274. Taylor. And that's it for that. Dunlop is a 5, so we multiply by 2, make it a 10. That gives him a 278. So we'll skip down here to 278 for Dunlap. And Horschel. Hadwin's a 6, so we multiply by 2 gives him a 12. That gives him a 280. So 280 is going to be Hadwin. The Gala is a 7, makes it a 14 when you multiply by 2. That gives him a 282. 282 for the Gala. Looks like he's in last place along with Eckroat. And that finishes them up. Now the last remaining guy is the D- guy, and that is Jonathan Vegas, but he's only a 5. So D-, you take the 270 and multiply it by 2 times that. So 5 times the 2 is a 10. Add to the 270 is a 280. So Vegas actually finishes in the 280. So that is the final result, or those are the final results of the tournament. So we're looking at the scoring system that I want to use and what they talk about. Let me zoom in on this as best I can. What they talk about here is the event winner gets 10 points. Second place earns 7 points. Third place earns 5. Anybody in the top 10 earns 3. And the other golfers get points based on their grades. So the contending golfers who finish outside the top 10 are grouped into B+ stack, and all B+ golfers are awarded 2 points. Golfers who placed in the B stack earn 1.5 points. Non-contending golfers are awarded points based on the following schedule, and that's what we have here. So B- gets a point, C gets 0.7. So you're getting into decimal points here. That could be a little tricky, but I guess I'll go with it. That's the system I'm going to use. So obviously in this case, Echeverria gets his 10 points for winning. Second place is a tie between Schauffele and McCarthy. So they get 7 points each. Third place, you got 3 guys that get 5 points. Fourth place, well, let's see. I'd have to figure out what their letter grades are. So I'll figure it out later at the end when I put it all on the computer. But that's kind of how the scoring is done. I am using their system to do that. And again, this was the original score sheet from the game or from the round. And this is what I used to get the scores based on their tournament ratings and their letter grades. And I'll be putting this into the computer. And on Thursday evening around, I'd say around 7:30, 8 o'clock, I will have the next tournament, which is going to be the Farmers Insurance Open from La Jolla, California, Pacific Pines, which is really Torrey Pines. And so far, I pulled out all the golfers that are going to be there. It's all these golfers plus the golfers you just saw on this leaderboard that were in that tournament. So I got to pull the ones that were in that tournament from these 50 something people, and that'll give me a complete field. Thursday we'll start out. We'll do the morning round and the afternoon round. Split them into 2 packs for making the cut. Then we'll do the third round where they assign their positions and their chips and where they are leaderboard wise, what their score is, and we'll figure out who the 12 guys are going to be that are going to be in the leader group. And then I'll cut off the video at that, or the stream at that point. Then on Sunday, we'll probably sometime in the afternoon. Sunday, I'll be doing the final round, but I'm going to pick it up when the leader gets to whoever's in the first pairing. When they get to the 10th hole, that's where I'll pick it up. I'll play the other stuff offline and get everything up to speed at that point, so the stream doesn't last like 5 hours or something. But anyway, that's what I've got for those that like to play History Maker Golf. I'm curious to know if you have any advice for things I can do to streamline, or maybe some homebrew rules you use for chip usage, or for whatever the case may be. That would be interesting to know. Midlife, I have no idea. I've got to read the rule book and see what now the rule book doesn't say this. But let's see, using that philosophy, the guys at 265 that are in third place, all right, third place is 5 points each. So they're each one of these guys tied for third. So you're saying if they tied for third, they pull second, third, and fourth? Well, that would be third, fourth, and fifth, I guess, because we got these 2 guys. It will actually be fourth, fifth, and sixth, because you got the top 3 guys ahead of them. So they technically be 4, 5, and 6, I would guess. Prize money points. I don't know. Is that what this is talking about? I don't know. This doesn't say anything about prize money. This is saying recommended here. I don't know if it says anything over here on this other side or not. That might be too confusing for me to worry about that. I think I might just stick with this point system here, because it's for the simplicity of it. And so if golfers tie for second place, they both get 7 points in my book. I'm not going to split anything up on that. Yeah, prize money points. It's right. It's exactly what it says right here. Prize money points. Second place earns 7. Third place earns 5. It doesn't say anything about ties, though. It doesn't mention anything in this book about ties. So my interpretation is all golfers in second place, tied or no, get 7 points. That's the way I'm going to score it. I'm not going to worry about divvying it up and splitting it, because I've already got to deal with the decimal points here, and I want to keep it simple. So I'm just going to do it. In this case, Echeverria is the points leader with 10. Shoffley and McCarthy has 7 points. McNeely, Cantlay, and Fitzpatrick have 5 points, and then I got to figure out the rest from there. I got to keep it simple, or I'll get totally confused. So, but anyway, that's what I'm going to do. But my next step now is to take what's on this paper right here and put it into Excel. So what I want to do is get one big Excel file and have multiple tabs for each tournament, and have the scores for each tournament and the points they gain. And then, actually, I'll just have one master one, I guess, and then have the points they gain, and then have a formula set up in Excel that it can add the points cumulatively as they earn them. I'll figure something out with that. I don't know if anybody's got a good. I know there was a helper out there that somebody had. Reggie, I think his name was. Is some kind of an app, helper app. I don't know if I'm ready for all that. I kind of just want to learn the game first. So I think I'm going to do it manually the first season. Now, if I do this again next season, I may do the app and try to figure it all out. One thing I didn't realize, or didn't realize it, but I didn't really think about it when I was doing my results and sorting my players, is I forgot they had live golfers in here, so I separated all the live golfers, so I don't have to sort through them trying to find the golfers that need to be in the tournament. I separated all the live golfers out of there, so they got their own little stack. And oddly enough, the winner of this tournament, Echeverria, is not going to be in the San Diego tournament. He does not participate in the Farmers Insurance Open. Neither does Justin or Jordan Spieth or Scotty Scheffler. I think Scotty Scheffler didn't start playing until several tournaments in. I'm not sure if he was just taking time off to rest or whether he was hurt or what the story was. But I looked up online last year's Farmers Insurance Open, and it gives you a complete list of all the players that participated. And it tells you who made the cut, who didn't make the cut, and what their scores were. So I've got all the golfers that showed up Thursday morning trying to qualify. If they didn't show up Thursday morning trying to qualify, they're not going to qualify. They're not going to be in this tournament. I'm taking just the guys that showed up. So guys that didn't participate are not going to be in there. So you won't see Scotty Scheffler again this week. He'll show up when he shows up in real world. So it was just quick and down and dirty. Like I said, my plan was to play the fourth round out, but when he got such a big lead and wiped everybody off the leaderboard, it was pointless for me to sit there and show the fast score type stuff. So I just did it this way, and there you go. So if you want to take a screenshot of that, if you're that interested, you can do that if you like, or just take a scan of it. Of course, my handwriting is horrible. What I'll do is before the San Diego tournament starts, I'll probably print out this in Excel and have that to show you guys before the tournament starts. Something that doesn't require my awful handwriting. So, Midlife, thank you for all your input. And obviously, it sounds like a game that you play a lot or enjoy a lot and probably are very experienced at it. Like I said, this was my maiden tournament. So, I just got the game last Thursday. So, I have been watching tons of videos on it, whether there were how-to videos or just watching people run a tournament. So hopefully I've got a lot of the things down better than what I had before. Some of the things I got to learn, little idiosyncrasies that I have to learn is, okay, when you do a clutch putt, what it says here, if the clutch putt is mixed, the next putt is easy. So if you have a clutch putt for birdie, I guess you have an easy putt for par and vice versa. And I believe I'm correct in saying it says if normal putt is missed, the next putt is next easiest level. So you just roll down the line for the next level. But I think there's a safe option. Accept a missed putt and set up a gimme follow-up putt. All right, or it's going to be easy if it's difficult. Okay, so that was something I was doing wrong. I thought if you had a double difficult putt and you laid up, it would be a moderate putt. This is saying it's an easy putt. This is saying it's easy if it's double difficult, or if it's anything difficult or less, it's a gimme. So that's something that's something I did not know. Oh, I can't even see. You can't even see it on there. I'm not showing it. Right here is what I was trying to get across, is I was doing this wrong. This is saying if you play safe and lay up, the next putt is either a gimme or it's easy if it's double difficult. So if we start with double difficult in either one of these spots and we lay up, it becomes an easy. Easy right here. I was playing it that became a moderate. So I was obviously playing that wrong. So I will get that corrected for the next tournament to make sure that's accurate. And of course, it says here, if clutch putt is missed, the next putt is easy. So we go straight to the easy result for that. All right. So I didn't expect many people to be here this time of day. It's easier to stream it than it is to record it and upload it. So I figured that's what I would do. So right now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through the cards of all the guys that we just went through on this scoreboard and pick out the guys that played in the Farmers Insurance Open, add them to this field, and then we'll have our field set up to start on Thursday with the qualifying round and so forth. So that's going to do it from here. I really wanted this to be short and sweet, and we got it at 25 minutes. So that's a good time to cut it off. But I do appreciate everybody that's following this, and any advice you can give or hints. Like I said, just like Midlife did, throw them out there, and if I think I can use it, I will certainly use it. I'll certainly consider it regardless whether I use it or not, it will be considered, because I want to get this experience streamlined, and I want to make it where I play the game right and have the most fun by playing it right. So that's going to do it from here. Hope you all have a great Monday afternoon, evening, or whenever you're watching this. Tomorrow we'll be at Memorial Stadium in 1987 American League replay at 9 a.m. Eastern. It'll be the Yankees and the Orioles, the return of Don Mattingly from the injured list. But as far as History Maker Golf, the next video will be Thursday, live stream Thursday night around 8 o'clock Eastern, where we're going to have the first 3 rounds of the Farmers Insurance Open from Torrey Pines in sunny California. So until next time, enjoy playing whatever game you choose to play, however you choose to play it, and I will see you all down the road.